Ever since the acquisition of YouTube by Google, we've seen a lot of things on the site change. Many of those things we had to go and call into question the actual ethics of Google themselves and the direction that they planned on going and taking the site. Most of us have seen it just steadily going downhill and always wondering, is there going to be an alternative that's going to offer us the same exact user experience that we had previously to YouTube being acquired by Google? Well, a lot of shady things have been going down, a lot of changes have come up, and another thing is going to be happening right now, a term that you will all become very well versed in, and as you've seen in the title, and that's a super flagger. And you might be thinking, what the fuck is that exactly? Well, it's very simple. The folks over at Google decided that they were going to appoint a select few people. They said it's under 200, but they're actually lying about that number. But they said it is going to be 200 individuals who are going to undertake the task of going and flagging all the inappropriate material that ends up slipping through the cracks of the YouTube system that's against all the guidelines and shit like that that they don't want to see up there. Things that, you know, that incite violence and as nudity and copyrighted material and shit like that. But this actually has a lot of stuff that you want to put under a magnifying glass and read a little bit further into. One of those things, and what's going to be the main focus of this video and the main focus of my concern, is that they have government officials that are going to be part of this little elite group that are going to be taking up the task of being a super flagger. Now, when they say 200, what they aren't actually telling you is that they can go and say that one of those 200 is an entire group of individuals. So they can say that, well, for example, one of the police units over in the UK, that counts as one. So all those police officers and all those detectives and all those people that are working there, that'll count as just one. And the thing is, we've already seen, for the past couple months, I've actually seen that the government has been going and making great strides in trying to go and monitor the internet. And what they haven't really gone on record and said is that this is going to be one of their ways of doing this. Now, you might figure, why is it so bad for police or even government officials in general to be monitoring anything on YouTube and slamming a ban hammer right down on it and sliding it right out of the way? Well, it's very simple. They said that they want to go and try to avoid extremist propaganda. They want to try to avoid things that might potentially incite any kind of violence just from somebody going and watching a video. Now, you have to keep in mind that these terms are very vague. I can say a ton of different things are going to be deemed and considered extremist propaganda. I can say that a number of different things out there are capable of inciting some kind of violence. I almost said drama, but inciting some kind of violence within individuals. I can go and stretch that truth as far as I want around the entire equator over and over and over again until I get bored. That's what worries me. See, I'm all for freedom of speech, but we now have two different countries that have government-paid officials who are going to be monitoring things here on this site that you're on right now. Whether you're on your mobile, whether you're on your desktop, whether you're watching this on your game system, the idea that your freedoms keep getting plucked away bit by bit is problematic and cause for alarm and a reason to be concerned. Now, there's a lot of things, like I have on my TV right here, I have the entire news article. There's going to be some things that I want to go and quote, and I'm going to have a rebuttal for all these individual things. And I think that many of you out there will be quite interested in some of the things that were quoted in this. And if you want to read this entire article in full, down in the description, you can go and click on that and read it to your heart's content. And by all means, that information, you should be sharing it. Because keep in mind, again, you are on YouTube right now. This means that it does actually affect you. So I'm going to go and begin that quoting. Now seems like a good time. Here, let's start here. These special people in groups have the ability to flag up to 20 videos at once to be reviewed by YouTube staff. According to the journal, 90% of the videos flagged by these people get pulled from the site or restricted to only adult users. This is a far higher pull rate than videos flagged by the average YouTube user. One of the reasons why I want to go and focus on that, firstly, is I've seen countless videos. I've had tons of conversations with my friends, some of which might be watching right now, so I'm sure that you'll end up remembering some of those conversations. But I know that there's been tons of videos out there that are fucked up beyond comprehension that have remained on YouTube for days, weeks, months, and even years, despite being flagged into oblivion by the thousands. Were never pulled and were never once touched, despite the fact that it was obviously a damn near heinous criminal act, yet the video remained up there. But Google themselves had no reason to ever bother with something like that. I mean, sure as shit, if you put some kind of fucking copywritten song in that, oh man, they'll snap that up without a single second fucking moment's notice. But when it's something that is morally objective and it's just honestly the worst kind of shit that you could ever possibly see, and is actually against several stacks of their fucking guidelines, yet stays up there, we have no power to do shit about that. Like, why do we have a flagging system if we have no power to actually do something about it exactly? That's one of the things that I'm curious about. Why do we have the power to do it if you aren't even going to pay any fucking attention? And why is it that you're willing to go out of your way to give a select few this power, and they pretty much can just get away with doing anything? And then they're saying that this will then go under review to Google themselves, and then they will make the final decision. Give me a fucking break. Firstly, was not born yesterday. Secondly, if you have government officials who are saying that they want something out of there, just like slam that fucking gavel down, banhammer that shit the fuck out of there, do you really think that Google is suddenly going to become objective to that? No, sir. They will go and bow down to that authority without a single second guess. They will just go, nod their head with a big old fucking shit-eating grin. Yet you're going to say that they're going to go and review something like this. And this, let's fall back on the whole thing of extremist propaganda. If I say anything that the government isn't exactly enjoying, or if there's leaked information that they just don't want to have out there, and let's be realistic, YouTube has been a very, very big way for people to obtain their information, to share their information. But if they're allowed to step in and begin telling you where the boundaries begin and end, isn't that a problem? I'm so fucking flabbergasted by some of this stuff, yet I'm not surprised at the same exact point, because again, I've been calling a lot of things that Google has been doing with YouTube in general into question for what seems like forever. So let's continue going and quoting more things about those. Our community guidelines prohibit such content, and our review teams respond to flagged videos around the clock, routinely removing videos that contain hate speech or incitement to commit violent acts. To increase the efficiency of the process, we have developed an invite-only program that gives users who flag videos regularly tools to flag content at scale. Yet billions of users right now already have the ability to go and flag such content, yet none of that ever seems to matter. On top of this, let's go and add into the pile of things that could be used vaguely, hate speech. Anything that I say right now could be considered hate speech just because it's an opposing opinion. Do you realize these terms are used in such a way to be able to twist and turn things to their liking? That's why they're done that way. It's... oh my fucking god, dude. I really, really know that shit's going to get so much fucking worse on here. And I know that it's a steady fucking decline, but the more that you see it, the more it's fucking irritating. It just... I like to have my freedoms. I hate when they're stripped away. And the thing is, what's fucked up about it is when people come to the defense of it, because we go and say time and again that what's being done on here is perfectly legal under all of this shit right here. Unfortunately, though, Google can go and step in and pretty much say, well, that may be true, these are our guidelines, and we're pretty much going to be judge, jury, and executioner and tell you what the fuck is and isn't. Despite what's legal. That's the thing that sucks about this right now. Anybody out there that is going to be saying anything at all could just be plucked right out. I mean, if you're getting videos flagged left and right by super flaggers, I mean, even a video like this right now, they could see that and be like, oh man, this is definitely hate speech against government officials and against a big corporate entity. Banhammer, get that shit out of there. They could home run that motherfucking video into nothingness, and there's fuck all I could do about it. All I can do is record this, and that's really about it. But at the very least, I can go and share that information. That's why I always put all that shit in the fucking description field. That's why I want to go and pick this apart bit by bit and piece by piece to go and talk about this and why it's a problem. I know that there's a lot of people out there that like to pretty much unearth the truth and expose it to the entire world because that's their right. And it's the right of every other individual out there to be able to hear this information, to digest this information, and to potentially share this information. Yet if that's taken away and squandered altogether because you're allowing whoever the fuck in positions of power to just come in and start dictating things under your roof, because essentially what the fuck are you going to do? Yes, you're a multi-billion-dollar company that is well known throughout the entire world and probably one of the most important companies in the entire world, yet you're still going to bow down to the proper authority. Money may talk, but the thing is, sometimes they can just open the door and come and go as they please. Of the 200 super flaggers, Google said that fewer than 10 are either government agencies or non-governmental groups, according to the journal. The vast majority of the trusted flaggers are individuals who have spent a lot of time identifying those YouTube videos that violate community guidelines. Fewer than 10 are government agencies. Again, think about this. Fewer than 10 are government agencies. You do realize that you could say entire police forces are considered one government agency. And of those, under their employ are hundreds and even thousands. Keep that in mind. And their entire task is to go in and find things that are going to undermine the authority of all the people that they work for. So we have that totem pole of power, and we have the grunts at the very bottom who are doing all this measly work. Yet, I don't know, but several hundred rungs below that is us. The fodder. And the fodder, unfortunately, is going to be the one that ultimately pays the price for this. We're the individuals that come onto this site all the time. Whether you're a content creator, whether you're just an active user, whether you're just coming on here for shits and giggles just to kill time, you will be affected. End of story. There is no ifs, there is no ands, there is no buts about this. And this is something that I thought everybody should be aware of. Again, who knows? Just come along, see something like this, and just gone. That was a fun video to make, right? But at the very least, I made it my honest-to-goodness effort to say something about it. And to bring it to the light of everybody else. But the nice thing about it is whenever one person says something, you have a nice little chain reaction, a domino effect that can then go and occur. The information can then be shared, become viral, and go round and round and round. And that's important to me. Because the more people that know, the more knowledgeable that they are. And the more knowledgeable that people are, the better off that they are. And make no mistake, I know that there will be people who think, oh, you're just going with the most negative outlook on things like this. I highly doubt it will be that bad. I have every single reason to find something like this for a cause of alarm. I have every reason to look at something like this and think the worst case scenario because I've been dealt that hand consistently through this company and through this site time and again, through not just myself but other individuals that I've seen adversely affected by a lot of these bullshit fucked in the ass changes. So of course I'm going to think the worst case scenario. It kind of makes sense, and it comes with the fucking territory on here. So content creators, you should be listening. Anybody who's an active user on here, you again should be listening. I don't really know what else to say about it other than not surprised and boy howdy does this fucking suck. And the thing is, what do you do about something like this? Whenever they go and employ the services of individuals that are in positions of power to be able to do literally what the fuck, whatever they want and run roughshod. What the fuck do you do to that? I mean, you can't even then start pitting the blame directly on Google. Then you have to be like, okay, who do I blame? This group over here or this group over there? It's just super flaggers? I mean, and the thing is, even if you want to go and argue a video being flagged, which has always been something that they allowed you to do, what the fuck is it going to do now if you have government officials mixed into this? Really? I'm just... I sometimes fucking speechless. Share the information. I have nothing else I can really fucking add to this entire mix. I just figured all of you should know. Because once I found out, well, I got the recording. Anyway. This is AlphaOmegaSin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, gamers, game the fuck on. I have no clue how else to fucking end this, because, yeah, it sucks.